Alright, so welcome to Learning Python in 6 months, where I try to learn Python as fast as possible and you get to hear about my shortcomings. Now for this update, I'm going to start this trend where I give you a rundown of the content before I do the video. And so I do this just to save time, and because just like you, I'm sure you're in the pursuit of being the most efficient as possible, so you deserve nothing less. So here's the rundown. For this week, I read 3 chapters from the Think Python book, and I did the problem sets at the end of the book. At the end of the book, there was one problem, at the end of the last chapter, there was one problem where I was able to solve completely by myself without using any help, and it's the first time I did this, and it was a recursive function, so I felt good about that. All right, so now comes the detail. So what I did in the Think Python books were chapter 4, 5, and 6, and these topics covered how to define functions and build recursive functions. And so I would just take notes, and then I would actively test myself at the end of the page. Now, anytime I get distracted, I would test myself again. And so due to my chronic ADHD, I would test myself a lot. So the repetitions do add up. Once I finish the chapter, I spend one day just going over the problem at the end of the book. And for the first couple of chapters, I've been really struggling, and I haven't been able to solve any of them by myself. So I was super happy, like I said, when in chapter 6, I was able to solve a recursive function problem without using any help. So that was the first time for me, so I felt good about that. So for remembering what I learned the day before, I've been testing myself using active recall and using spaced repetition, following the forgetfulness curve. So the forgetting curve basically is that you need to recall what you learn every 1 to 3 to 5 to 10 days. And so I started doing that with chapter 4, where the next day I would write down everything I remember from the day before, and then I would go back to see what I had forgotten. And then I would then do that in 3 days, in 5 days, and then 10 days, following the forgetfulness curve. If you guys want to see a video on that, let me know, and I will, where I talk about the main ways to study, which are spaced testing, repetition, interleaving, categorization, and stuff like that. So just let me know.